with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch of mine that bears no fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You have already made clean by the word which I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me you can do nothing. If a man does not abide in me, he is cast forth as a branch and withers. And the branches are gathered down and thrown into the fire and burnt. If you abide in me and my word abides in you, ask whatever you will, and it shall be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Well, isn't that a challenge today? I wonder if you were horrified and challenged by the words, ask whatever you will and it shall be done for you. Well, haven't we all been asking, when is this going to be over? We're told level 2 is when the churches will reopen. Well, we're only in 4, dear Lord. Why has it got to be 2? I have a perfect solution. We have a big church, big doors. People can come in and separate and sanitize and do the whole thing. We have the solution, Lord, but it is a big fat no. How do we cope with that? How do you, businessmen, knowing that there is money to be made to support your families out there and you're told no? Ask whatever you will, and it shall be done for you. It doesn't seem like it's happening. Let's be honest. But let's also be honest that these are the words that we are hearing. So rather than just ignore them and trash them, let us try and find our own unique way, each of us, to find out what is God really saying. Even if we get angry with him, even if we lose belief. You said, Lord, that we must ask and it will be done. Well, we have been asking for 47 days now. How long does it take for God to listen? Now there's a question I'm going to ask if I get to heaven. And I'll still ask it if I'm somewhere in purgatory and hell. This text is a text that I chose for my ordination. So it resonates strongly with me. And this whole picture of the vine and the branches and the pruning and the fruit are so important, especially now. There's a story of an old missionary on a shipwreck, as in a storm, and he decided to tie himself to the mast just so that he wouldn't be pushed around. And he felt that was his closest way in his own mind to feel need to God in this incredible time. Everybody else died. He was the only survivor. How bound are we to God in our dilemma? Not because it makes sense in our heads, but it's because what we know we need to do in our souls. This is what being part of the vine is. When we rely on what makes sense to make us happy, we will never be happy. But if we can try during these tough times, and it's only during the tough times when we are going to have to deal with these issues, how are we going to hold on to God, to the vine. That we are going to be the branch that is connected to the vine, no matter how much pruning is going to go on. Because it is from the vine that we get the power and strength to eventually have a shoot that will bear fruit. But the branch, you and I, must remain united with the vine, no matter what the pruning. That's a tough one. Hey ho, get used to it. That's our lot. The more we complain about it, the less we can survive. That's the truth. We can waste our time, and I have, complaining and moaning and asking questions. Or I can still ask those questions, but put it in perspective of that I am a son, as you are sons and daughters of God, and we are connected to the divine vine. We do not know what fruits are going to come out of lockdown. We do not know. But we do know we are being pruned. Dear Lord, do we know? Not being able to do all kinds of things, businesses going down, people losing their jobs. Yes, people, and there are lots of people considering suicide. That is also a sadness. And so let us not judge anyone here, but let each one of us remain tight, like that sailor to the mast. We tie ourselves how best we can. Because when we have tied ourselves, not because it makes sense, but because it is what we believe, we will survive. Somehow. We don't have to know how. We only have to do what we have to do now. The fruit is what God can do for us. There's a lovely saying that I'd like to end off with today from Francis de Sales. He says, the chief exercise of prayer is to speak to God and to hear God speak in the bottom of our heart. But I've just remembered another story. I'm sorry, but it's a good one. It's a Hispanic story. And it's about a man and his son walking through a very dark forest. And they're lost. And they're hungry. And they see a bush of berries. And the son says, oh, Father, please, Daddy, please can I have some of these berries? And the father, being compassionate, said, yes, but now it's becoming dark. So he said to his son, son, I'm going to walk off. I'm going to walk on while you can continue eating. But I'm going to call your name as I'm walking. And I want you to shout out, Father, 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 as I'm walking. And as soon as you cannot hear my voice, and as soon as I cannot hear your voice, I'm going to stop and walk back to that voice so that we are never disconnected. Isn't that a wonderful story? That's prayer. Calling out to God in the best way we know how. And God is calling to us. And there will be times when the voice is not good. So then we need to stop and start walking towards that voice through the word, through love, so that we can stay connected. This is our time, dear people. May we call out to God no matter how it may be, in anger, in sorrow, frustration, in disbelief. Keep calling. Because in that call, we are connected. Amen.